The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are the guest's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of AIHA. AIHA does not endorse any guest or the entity that they represent. On this episode of Healthier Workplaces, we discuss AIHA's new heat stress mobile app with Dr. Joanne Balanet. Stay with us.
This is a profession that gives back to society. You are literally saving lives in the workplace.
That's what an industrial hygienist does.
We are conducting this work to ensure that the workers are safe on the job when they're wearing that NIOSH-approved respirator.
But industrial hygienists are really dealing with invisible hazards that sneak up on you.
Healthier Workplaces, A Healthier World, highlighting the impact on workplace safety. Watch the series at AIHA.org.
And we're back again from Columbus, Ohio at AIHA Connect 2024. I'm Bob Krell, the host of your Healthier Workplaces show, and our continuing coverage live from this year's expo goes on and goes on and goes on. It's Monday afternoon, and we've got another great topic to discuss. So with me is Joanne Balanet, and we're going to talk about the heat stress app, right?
Yes.
So this is new to me because I have not dealt with that. So I guess before we get speaking about the app specifically, let's talk about some of the key factors that make heat stress awareness important, especially in occupational settings, and frame the background of it, I guess.
Well, heat stress has been an issue, especially recently, that especially for outdoor workers, because the temperature has been increasing as years go by. And so what we really want is to prevent the adverse effects of heat stress, because it can be fatal for our outdoor workers. It is preventive. We can prevent it. So we have to incorporate these preventive measures so that we could prevent those heat-related illnesses.
I mean, what are some of the common misconceptions that you see regarding heat stress, and how increased awareness can help dispel that? I mean, I'm assuming a lot of people just assume, oh, be tough and you can deal with it.
Yeah, true. I guess one of the misconceptions is that one may think that they are invincible when it comes to heat stress, and not knowing the factors that can actually make them less tolerable to heat stress. Let me say that again. Some people might think that they are tolerable to heat stress and may underestimate the effects of heat on their body. So that may be one important misconception.
Increased awareness can help dispel some of these myths regarding heat stress.
I think so. I think that them knowing what are the risk factors that could increase their risk to heat stress would help out in preventing these. And for example, having some tools that would just make them aware would help out.
So, here, I guess a lot to speak about the heat stress app. How does that work? I guess, from maybe a 5,000 foot overview, give us a little bit about how that app works, and how it can benefit individuals. I guess both in terms of prevention and the response to heat related illness too, because obviously prevention is the desirable side of it, right? But if we don't prevent, we have to deal with somebody in that situation.
So this app would be helpful for outdoor workers, because this app is pulling weather data from weather station and then calculating it into environmental heat metric, which we call the wet bulb globe temperature, or the WBGT. And so we believe that this app would at least educate workers that they need to be aware of their environment, so that we could prevent heat-related illnesses and worse, heat-related deaths.
So some of the, what that was one of the features. What are there other specific features with the heat stress app that can help alert you to situations?
That's right. So this one of the important features of this heat stress app is that it calculates automatically the current WBGT index, and also it forecasts the WBGT index. And this is one thing that the traditional heat stress monitor does not do. So the traditional instrument, the reference instrument that we consider as the reference instrument, gives the current WBGT. But this app can be used as a planning tool so that, let's say, the supervisors would see that the WBGT is high in the afternoon. And so this could be used to maybe reschedule a heavy workload in the morning, which is cooler, instead of having it done in the afternoon. And so this is one thing we're really excited about because of this particular feature. And another important feature is that once the WBGT is calculated, it is converted into it is converted into a qualitative risk level. And I think this is also very beneficial for the users of the app, because especially for those who cannot interpret numbers. Let's say, okay, the WBGT is 29 degrees Celsius, but what does this mean? For if one has industrial hygienists who can interpret it, that's not a problem. But if it's used by outdoor workers and, let's say, the company does not have someone to interpret that, what are the workers going to do with that number? Will they am I at risk or am I okay? And so having that number automatically converted into a risk level would help them determine, okay, I need to take a rest or I can go on. And so this is one thing that we are really excited about.
And I think that's an important thing to stress, right? This heat stress app is not for the professional industrial hygienist. This is actually for the worker in the field, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So the early version, when we were designing this early version of the app, it's designed uh, for workers, for outdoor workers and their supervisors. And then maybe later on, this could be used to, we could add more features that could be used by environmental health, occupational health professionals. But for now, it is, we have designed this app for workers who do not have the training as environmental occupational health professionals.
And as you mentioned earlier, it's not just a real time tool. It's you do projections with it, right? You can actually
Yes.
see that. See, that seems really important because it's proactive, or it
Yes.
can be used proactively.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as I've said, this forecasted WBGT index is not something that the traditional reference material does. And so that's why it's used as a planning tool for managers and supervisors of these outdoor workers.
Yeah, are there features? I should ask. I guess one of the features is there data in the app to provide like a more of a personalized heat stress alert? I guess because that's. I mean, is the heat stress index applicable as one size fits all to every human out there? Not necessarily, right? Because different physiological body issues and stuff. Is
Yeah.
that accounted for in the app?
So the app, of course, this app focuses on the environmental heat metric. And so it is what's in the environment. I would say that this is one of the limitations, but it would still be helpful for outdoor workers. It is not as personalized
Okay.
as you want it to be, because different people have different tolerance to heat,
Mhm.
depending on their health state, their age, their body weight,
Hmm.
if they're taking medications,
Sure,
and
there's a lot
all
of
those
variables.
lots of stuff. And so this does not incorporate that, but but I think it is still helpful because it starts somewhere that could
Hmm.
be used by the outdoor workers. um, it's it's better than not knowing at all what they're exposed to in terms of heat stress.
And it has some features for giving alerts to the individual. So
That's right.
from the app.
But then I would say that it may have some personalized features. It may not be as far as giving detecting heart rate or the core body temperature, but it has the capability of putting in the worker clothing. So the worker clothing has an important contribution to heat stress, especially if, let's say, if the worker is just wearing the ordinary work clothes like cotton shirt, then it's not it's not a big problem. But if the workers are wearing more impermeable clothing, so that would add more to
Tyvek
heat
suits,
stress.
things like that.
Yes, and so the app gives that option for worker clothing. Um, it's a one of the input that workers can choose from. That could be somehow a personalized, more personalized. Um, and another thing that you could change in the app is the cloud cover. So if it is sunny, if it is partially cloudy, or if one is in the shade. And so that would actually help out prevent overestimating or underestimating their WBGT index.
So are there any specific industries or professions that would, most benefit from having access to the heat stress app? And if there are, like, let's talk about a few of them.
Yeah. So we would like to emphasize. I would like to emphasize that this heat stress app is for outdoor workers. It's um, it's not applicable right now for indoor workers because the app pulls data from weather station, and so it um, it pulls the ambient temperature, the relative humidity, and the barometric pressure, and all those stuff, and then have that put in an algorithm to calculate WBGT. And so it is not applicable for indoor workers as of the moment. And so, with that said, outdoor workers like construction, in agriculture, in groundskeeping, you name it, they are the ones who would benefit from this app, especially the industries, the small scale industries that do not have financial resources to have a very, let's say, a big or complex industrial hygiene department.
Sure.
So, because is this app is free, it is more accessible. Just download it from. Um, it is both in the iOS and Android platform, and um, so industries who would have industries who lack industries that lack financial resources would benefit from this one.
And so I would think also, some would be classically marginalized communities or marginalized industries. Like you mentioned, this is more applicable towards industries that don't, smaller operations that don't have a an occupational health and safety professional on site or monitoring. Obviously, gig workers, people that are out doing stuff that are not,
That's right.
they're really not having any type of health and safety program around them.
That's right.
For the most part.
And one thing that always pops up in mind is the agricultural industry. They're managed by their farmers, and they usually do not have industrial hygiene department.
Right.
And so having this as an alternative tool to assess heat stress for their farm workers would be beneficial for them. The heat stress monitor as our reference instrument is what we consider the gold standard. And this instrument is not cheap. And so having this app, which is free, would benefit these industries that have not much resources on this particular endeavor.
Are there specific steps that organizations can implement to start utilizing the heat stress app, and bring it into their workplace, and trying to have individuals within their organizations use it on a daily basis?
Okay. Now, if they have a heat stress program that's already robust, then this app could be a supplement for the workers because they can use it themselves. Um, it is interpreted for the numbers that are calculated are interpreted for them, and so it could be a supplemental tool to the it could be a supplemental tool to their existing heat stress program.
So, Joanne, what are the long term goals for the heat stress app? And I guess where do you how do you envision its role in promoting public health and safety in the future?
Okay, so the app that would be coming out is the beta version, and we expect that there would be more features that would be added to it, so it'll be more useful for the outdoor workers, their managers and supervisors, as well as the OHS professionals at some point. So we think that it is important for us to release this now because of the um, heat stress issues that is occurring. There's lots of death that's happening, and so we need that. We think that it's important to roll this out now, and later on, as we get feedback from the users, we we would get more information to improve it, have it be more useful, um, add the features that we think the users um, add features that the users think that that would be that must be included. So that's what we think. So the long-term goal would be to have this app um, be personalized. Right now, because it's since people have different tolerance to heat, it is quite challenging for us to incorporate um, physiological parameters
Yeah,
into
that
this
makes
app.
sense. Yeah.
Because there are also other issues, not just the ethics of it, because we know that physiological parameters are they are on the medical side, and
Mhm.
so and it is hard to personalize things because we have different characteristics, and so um, in the long run, we would like to have this app more personalized in the future. So the heat stress app is something that we are really excited about, especially the thermal stress working group. And we hope that this app would be used a lot by the outdoor workers because we think that it could make a difference in preventing heat related illnesses and deaths among this vulnerable population, working population.
Well, Joanne, thanks for coming here and taking some time out of your AIHA Connect time here in Columbus to speak with us about the heat stress app. And I think it's really great what your working group's doing and bringing this out and making it really available to everyone.
That's right.
So
that's right.
that's a fabulous thing, a nice move ahead, especially to maybe protect some workers that wouldn't otherwise have any indication of what's going on.
That's right. We are excited about this one, and I hope it gets used a lot by the intended users that we think.
Excellent. Well, we'll do our best to promote it.
All right. Sounds
So
good.
that's the end of our coverage for day one here at AIHA Connect 2024 in Columbus, Ohio. So that's our show for this week. Until next time, I'm Bob Krell.
stay healthy.